I'm sharing my screen. So this is the React project that we have created yesterday. So I'm going to edit the same application itself. So before that, I'll just start my React application by using the command npm start. So what does the npm start do is like it will go to this package.json file and it will look for the command start. So it will reach to this command and you can see a React script start. So this is the inbuilt command for running the React application. So if you click on this npm start, then it will redirect to this particular start in the package.json file and it will run your application in the browser. So this is the application that is being rendered in the browser. This is the text that we have rendered in the class yesterday. So now I'll try to modify some changes here in the file. I'll get rid of the files that we are not being used here. So I'll remove this logo for more simplicity. I'll remove this report, this setup as well. So this test.js files is used for unit testing. So in the future in your project, if there is like any unit testing, then you need to write the logic in this unit testing related files. So I have removed all the files. So this one reference. Save. We can see our app is still working fine. So I'll remove these components as well. For more simplicity, I'll delete this. Second. So I have removed all the code. Now I'll just place like simple text for more convenience. I'll just save it and I'll run browser. You can see it is being rendered. So yesterday we have covered like the HTML and JavaScript is being included in the same file in the form of JSX, and along with that we also focused on the folder structure, how we gonna render our React application in the browser, and we also focused on passing the data from parent to child in the form of props. So these are basic. So we have covered in the earlier class. So today we'll start with the state. So I'll just create a component name. Before that I'll create a folder called components, and I'll place all the components in this folder for more simplicity and visualization. So I created a folder called components, and inside this I'm creating a new file called state component.js. So before coming to this state, so in React only we also focused yesterday, like in React we can write two types of components. One is the functional components and the other is class based components. So you can write the component in the form of function or in the form of class, but this state is only available in the class components. It is not present in the functional components. So to overcome this, after React 16.0 version, it introduced a latest concepts called React hooks, which allows to write the same state related logic in functional components as well. So as of React 16, there is only the class components in which we can write the state, and we cannot modify any state, or we cannot create any state related object in functional component. So once after React 16.0, before, from since 2 3 years before, it introduced concept called React hooks, through which we can write the state components in stateful logic in functions as well. So I'll cover those things as well. So before that, let's create the class component first. See, by using the shortcut. So yeah, so I have created a class component called. So the syntax is pretty simple, like import React and component from React, and it's a simple class like class name, and this extends the component which is an interface component from a React package itself, and we are returning the HTML. So I'll just save this. You won't see anything because we didn't include the state component in your parent. So using this Visual Studio, it makes use of auto completion as well. So once I included the component name, it imported the file name as well in the top. So I'll save this. If I look at the browser, you can see the state component is being rendered here, but in the form of a div. So I'll get rid of this statement and I'll write some VH1 state component. So before this, what is a state? State is nothing but it's like an object inside your component to store the data temporarily. For example, here I'll just write one maybe small, same as title. Welcome. So we will try to pass the same to the child as well in the form of props. And we can import these with the help of props. I'll show you which one. So these curly braces is used to include our JavaScript inside the React. So this dot props dot the name of the component. Sorry, name of the prop, its title. So you can see the welcome is being passed from parent, and we are passing it as a prop, and we are rendering. So if you try to modify this prop, you cannot, because it is an immutable. I'll just show you const, maybe prop change with the name of the file equal to dot title. So if I try to assign, for example, title, I'll just show you in simple way for better understanding. So I have assigned this disk.props.title to this prop change, and I'll add a button. So change prop. I think I don't want to show these complex as well now. I just show you simply. So the property that you're getting from the parent, like these dot props, so it is like immutable. You cannot change the value. If you try to change, the React throws an error, and it will not allow to modify the changes. So I am trying to explain you, but the logic would be quite complex by adding the form controls and events. So that's why I'm not. here. So but I'll show you how we can access the state as well now. So state is nothing but I'll just add constructor. Inside this, it would be like props, or you can also use directly or const. So you see here, this is the super is the keyword that is used to inherit. If you want to inherit anything from a parent, from component or from app, then it is used. Without this, we can also write the logic, but it is a convention that we follow the super. If you in future, if you want any of the interface, it will help us. Then I'll write maybe this dot date. Maybe I'll use any date variable here. So it will be like new date. Yeah, so I'll try to render. So state is nothing but the common object or any data type that you are gonna use in your specific component. Here, if you see this title, you are getting this title from the parent component. But if you want to maintain a separate logic for this particular component, you can place those logics or the data structure in the state itself. So I'll show you to render these. Now we can use these dot state dot date to render our state. So we can add as many number of variables as we want. I think we use type string. You can see the particular date is being displayed here. This is nothing but the data that you're getting from the state. So if you see here, I'll just seconds as well. So you can see it is like 5:34 and 13 seconds. So this is the data that you're getting from your state. You can also add, this as time. You can add as many properties as you want in the state. So I'll just add date. Date is also same as this. Here I'll show you first time. So you can see the time is being displayed in the top and the data. So if you want to pass this to the subcomponents, you can pass it in the form of props. So for example, consider child.js is a child component. I'll remove this thing. I'll just include this in our component. I'll just save this first. I'll pass the data like date equal to this dot state dot date. So, and I'll use this date here. Okay. Just use this string. save both the things, and you can see this is being displayed from the child. I'll just add from child. So if you see, this is the data that we are getting from the child. So you can pass this particular component state logic to the sub children in the form of props as well. So this is the advantage of using the state. So the state is used to modify the current variables as well in the particular state. And along with that, you can also pass the state data to subsections as well. So I'll try to modify this date. So if you see here, I'll just comment this. Okay. So if you see the here, the time and date is like static. So once the page is being loaded, it will show the time and date of that particular refresh time. And after that, you can see here, the time is like 5:37. And after this, we are not getting any of the output, the latest time. So we'll place a button here. So once we click on that button, once we click on that button, we'll try to change the time of this particular box. So I'll just add one button here. Get latest time. This is the button name, and in the JavaScript we have seen the event handlers. So in React as well we have the similar event handlers. So I'll just show you on click. I'll give this as a name as handle time. So I'm writing a method to change the time. So this dot, you cannot directly modify the state as well. Like you cannot write likewise. So this dot time dot state dot time equal to new date of dot to time string. So if you try to write this, it will throw an error. So you are trying to modify the state. In React, there is a concept called rendering. So once any of the DOM or any of the event is being rendered in your application, the component needs to render. So if you directly write in the form of like this dot state dot time, React doesn't understand that there is a change in the state variable, and I am going to update this. So it doesn't recognize this. So once I'll save this, I'll just open the console. You can see here, once I click on this get latest time, you don't get the actual time because there is no re-rendering occurring in the React. So React doesn't understand that there is a change is being done in the component. So I need to update. So instead of this, you need to use, there is a method called this dot set state, which is used to update your state variables, any state variables that you wanna update. So in this, we can access the time, and we need to change the time to the latest. So I'll save this. So you can see your time is 5:40:52, and if I click on this second, sorry, inspect. Okay, it's throwing an error, so I'll try to modify this. Okay, so this case here, you can see the latest time is being rendered. So this way you need to modify your state. For example, if the time is 5:42 on 03, you need to get the latest time. So you can see 5:42 on the 13 seconds, now 15. So in order to change the state variables, you need to use the set state method. This is nothing but the concept of state. So inside your same component itself, if you want to access the variables or any of the things, then you can use these things. So this is the state. So this is child. So inside this, if you try to write state, so it doesn't consider this constructor or the state, and you will get the errors in the function component. So in functional components, there is no concept called state. So to overcome this, React introduced React hooks, through which we can use the states as well in our application. So I'll show. So in React, by using React hooks, we have methods called maybe date, comma, set date. We have a method called useState, which is a state variable in the functional components. So I'll just assign these to. So it's a method. So once we call the method, it will return two values. One is data, and the other is to modify the data. So inside this, maybe I'll use like for convenience title, title unused. So at the present, your title is maybe hello. You want to modify your title from hello to some other things. So I'll just show how to modify. So H1, I'll try to render the title. So I'll remove these here. I'll try to use the direct child itself. Just remove these as well. So you can see hello, this is being rendered from the child component. So you forgot about the state component. So we are working with the hooks here. So our initial, if you write like welcome, if you save, you can see the welcome is being displayed. So this is the initial title, and we'll add the button as well here. Change title, and we'll add on click handler. Change title is the method name, and we'll use this method name in the above function. So at the beginning, these concepts would be quite confusing for as a beginner, but you need to go through each and every concept in depth and get very good understanding. Then you can easily do the development tasks. So I'll just try to. Here, the set state is used to in the class component. We use like set state for changing the state variable, but in the functional components using hooks, you can directly use this second method like set title to modify. So you can use whatever the name you want as per your convention. The first element would be the data, and the second element would be the method to update those data. So I'll change this to title to React. Okay, so I'll save this. You see here, I have a button. If I click on the save title, change title, the title is being changed to React. So this way you can use state state component in your functional by using React hooks. This is a concept from this use state, use effect. These are some of the methods that is being used in React hooks. So you go through like React hooks as well. And apart from this, we also have like conditionals, React conditionals. So I'll just show you. I'll remove all these things for more convenience. So I'll write one variable like const title equal to hello. So or maybe you can write const title equal to true. So we'll write the conditional directly in the JSX by using if condition. If title, if the title is present, we'll try to return h1 tag. So you can see how flexible is React because we are using the both HTML and JavaScript together, and we are including in our conditions loops as well. So this is the usage of using React and rendering. So if title, I'll return this, else I'll return title is not found. So if I save here, you can see title is present. If I pass false, then you can see title is not found. So in this way, you can write the if else inside your JSX in the React, and we can also use conditional operators like conditional and ternary operators. So I'll just show you. I'll remove this. Title, if title is present, print title. I'm not returning here. Return. You can see the title is being rendered by using conditional and if true, and if the first variable is true, then it will render this. If it is like false, you save, you cannot see the output. So this way you can also render your HTML element inside this JSX. We also have like ternary operator. If condition is true, then we'll show hello title, else we'll try to no title. So if the title is true, we'll try to show hello title. If the title is false, we'll try to show no title. So I'll make this title to true. If you see here, the hello title is being printed since the condition is true, and I'll write false. So you can see no title is being rendered. So in this way, as well, you can use the logic to render ternary operator or conditional rendering in React. So this is one thing, and I'll just remove these things. So I'll show the list rendering as well. So suppose there is an array called ARR, and it contains like list of names. Maybe the name of the cars, maybe like Ford, BMW, pins, body, Ferrari, Tesla. So consider an array of car names. So you want to render these in HTML. So for example, normally you can render in this way, like H1 and array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 3. Maybe consider 3 elements. If I try to print, you will get all these values. Sorry, I need to give in these curly braces for rendering your JavaScript. So don't forget these curly braces if you are going to use your JavaScript inside your HTML in React, because without this JavaScript, you'll directly get the hard-coded value. If I try to save this, now you can see Ford, BMW, Benz, and Audi is being displayed here. But this is not a good approach. Suppose you have an array of like 50 items, 100 items, then you won't be able to write all the list of items, right? So instead of this, what I do is like I'll use array dot map, and map we have seen this map, filter, for each, reduce, all these methods in our JavaScript. So React heavily depend on these JavaScript concepts. So I'll just give like child, maybe name, and I'll directly return name. If you see here, I'll save this and you can see all the elements in the array is being rendered. This is not from React, this is from pure JavaScript. So I'm using this map method and I'm rendering each and every element in the array by using this map, and I'm getting and displaying in the form of HTML. So this way you can print all the, you can list all the elements from an array or an object. So you can, for example, I have an object. In this way, I'll just remove this. So I have an array of objects, maybe objects 2. Just remove this one right here. ID equal to 1, name equal to Tesla. And in the same way, I have multiple objects within this array. Oh, I have Ford. So here you will have 2 variables like ID and name, or you can directly have like object. In the first iteration, you will access this first object. In the second iteration, you will accept this. So in this way, you can object.id and object.name. So once I save this, you can see the element, the data from the object is also being utilized here. So this way you can use this list rendering. And I'll just show you a simple form as well here for you for understanding. So we have an input. It's like a self-closing tag, and I'll just access some const. This is nothing but the state. So you're going to store your data in what you're going to type. So I'll just, without this, I'll show you 1 second. So you can see here, an input box is created. So if I type something, where you're gonna store all this value, this is nothing but you will store all this data in your component state. So without state, you cannot have any data storage or anything in particular to that component. So I'll use React hooks. So input, set input for modifying this, and I'll use useState. So at present, at starting, maybe I'll type here. Could be your initial visibility and value equal to input. So once I save this, you can see a text box, and inside this you have a data card type here. But if I try to delete this, I can't delete. Or if I try to backspace this, I can't do. Why? Because React uses a not only React, in JavaScript as well, we have like on change method, which is used to modify the input value or anything. So we have method called on change. So I'll directly pass set input. So I in the before component, I have shown like this is the method that is used to update your input. So I'm passing this here, event dot target dot value. So if I save this, now I'm able to modify. So I'll add a button. Enter. I'll write. Maybe directly I'll just write. This is also another way to write your event handlers in JavaScript or not in React. So you can directly, I'll show like alert. The name is input. So I'll save this. So if I type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I click on the center. Sorry, the input is not being rendered here. It's just I'll write this method in the top. Save this input. Yeah. So you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is alerted in this by using this event handlers. So this way you can manage your state, and you can add your state data inside your component as per your convenience. Like you can add multiple state methods here. So there are many in-depth concepts in React as well. So once you go through all the documentation of the React, I'll just show you React.js. You can go to this website like React.js. This is the official documentation. And once you click on this get started or take the tutorial, you'll get a list of concepts. So you can easily access like how to add React to your website by using this HTML, or how to create a new React app, and the CDN links, and the concepts like hello world, introducing JSX, rendering elements, uh, conditional rendering, like we have seen if else, list, forms. So all these things will be covered from the session itself. Like all these concepts will be present here. And apart from this, if you want the in-depth concepts, you can go to these advanced guides, and in this you have like I'm not focusing on the advanced concepts now, because you need to be very confident in these basic main concepts. Once you are familiar with that, then you can go to these advanced concepts for modifying those main concepts in your advanced. So without the knowledge in main concepts, if I uh, try to show the examples of these things, you will be quite confused, and you will be in a state like you will be tensed. So I'll allow you like to go through these main concepts heavily, and once it is done, you can come to these advanced guide concepts, and here you can learn all the concepts regarding the advanced topics. And these is a folder like hooks, which is like introduced in React 16 point. So yeah, hooks are a new addition to React 16.8. They let you use state and other React features without writing a class. So previously we used to write a class for accessing the state, but without that, if you want to use the state in function components, you can use this React hook. So in this we have like bunch of concepts like use state, use effect, and some advanced concepts as well. So you can go through this as well. And once you cover these main concepts, hooks, and advanced guide, you would be in a position that you can start working on developing a sample project, and you can work on this as well. So if you find any of the places that you are being stuck, or you need any guidance, so you can let us know in the sessions, or through the uh, next classes, so that we can work on that and we can get resolved. So this way, and you can also go through tutorials as well. So basically, I have covered like the basic concepts like that is being used in the React, and it's up to the, like, you need to focus much on these concepts, and you need to learn by your hand, because learning in like couple of days is impossible anytime. So you need to spend much time in this, and you need to figure it out, all the concepts and other things as well. So tomorrow I'll start with the Angular, and I'll just give an overview like how to what is the folder structure, and what is the high level components that are being created used in Angular, and what is the structures and code based inside the Angular. So with this, you will just get an idea like what is in React, what is Angular, and what is the scenario that is being happened in that. And with more understanding, and with spending much amount of time on the concepts, you will get some more understanding. So by this, I stop sharing.